The average knowledge worker checks their phone 96 times a day. They produce less than 3 hours of meaningful work, and they wonder why they're not getting ahead. Most of us operate in a constant state of reaction. We answer an email, glance at a Slack message, and check a project board, rarely going more than 8 minutes without our attention being yanked in a new direction. This endless cycle of pinging and responding is defined by Cal Newport as shallow work. It consists of the logistical, administrative tasks you can perform while distracted. Shallow work creates zero new value. It is easily replicable. An intern can do it, or an algorithm can do it. Yet it consumes massive amounts of cognitive energy, leaving you completely drained. This leads to the treadmill effect. You hit 5 p.m., your eyes ache, and your brain is spent. But when you look back at the day, you realize you haven't actually accomplished anything of substance. Operating in this state of semi-distraction actively degrades the quality of whatever you manage to produce. A quick glance at your phone while writing a report forces your brain to abandon its focus and start over. The modern workday is a sophisticated distraction trap. It is perfectly engineered to prevent the creation of rare and valuable things. Cal Newport calls this deep work, and it's the single most valuable professional skill nobody is protecting. The reason our current habits are so destructive comes down to a biological mechanism called attention residue. We assume we can toggle between tasks instantly, but the human brain incurs a severe performance penalty with every switch. This illustrates the lag effect on your cognitive battery. When you switch from writing to checking an email, a significant portion of your cognitive resources remains stuck on that message, processing in the background for up to 20 minutes after closing the tab. Because of this residue, stringing together a series of quick checks throughout the day ensures your brain never reaches its full capacity. Elite-level thinking is biologically impossible when your attention is constantly fractured. Deep focus is a strict biological requirement for high-performance cognition. You cannot rely on willpower to achieve this state. Willpower is a finite resource that depletes rapidly. You have to ritualize your focus through strict control of your environment and schedule. This requires depth scheduling. You block out specific, non-negotiable windows of time, typically 90 minutes, with an explicit start and end point, existing in a total communications blackout. The most reliable approach is the Rhythmic philosophy. By scheduling your deep work at the exact same time every single day, you remove the friction of deciding when to start. Pushing your brain to its limits requires a counterbalance. Newport advocates for systematic idleness. Your brain requires periods of absolute boredom, true downtime without new inputs, to recharge its cognitive battery. To protect this downtime, you implement a shutdown ritual. This is a formalized end-of-day sequence where you check your task list, review tomorrow's plan, and intentionally close every open mental loop. You end the sequence by saying the phrase, "shutdown complete." Saying it out loud acts as a psychological trigger, preventing mental clutter from invading your non-work hours. These routines and schedules are the containment vessels. They provide the structure necessary to generate the pressure required for deep thinking. We are living through the great restructuring. As automation swallows administrative tasks, the economy is shifting, placing a massive premium on the one thing machines still struggle with: deep, creative problem-solving. That is the core argument of deep work. The ability to focus is becoming rare at exactly the same time it's becoming valuable. This forces a hard audit of your own routine. When you sit down at your desk, were you actually a generator of value, or are you just a manager of distractions? There's a free Notion template called the Deep Work Audit. It takes 5 minutes. You score how much of your workday is actually deep work, identify your top 3 distraction triggers, and design one protected focus block. Most people have never measured this. The number is always worse than they think. The link is right below this video. Grab it now, because if you go back to your inbox first, you already know what happens. Taking this audit is the first step in deciding which side of the divide you'll end up on. It is how you move from the group that falls behind to the group that thrives.